If I told you that you could start a creative agency with no money, no cash investment at all, have a team of people working for you without paying them a penny, you would think that I was absolutely crazy. But the truth is, it has never been easier to start a business of your own with little to no cash investment at all. Back in the day, you used to have to take out loans or have investment from people to create some money, some capital in your business in order to get the ball rolling. I mean, even email addresses are going to cost you money. So how can we start your dream business without investing a single penny? Well, in this video, I'm going to break down the framework to use using strategies that I've seen work time and time again so that you really have no excuse then to make this the year you start your dream business and get it going. Now, a creative agency is a term used for an agency that covers everything under the umbrella of marketing and advertising. It may be that you only focus on a few of these points, from website right through to digital filming and photography, or maybe you encompass more things like print media. Regardless of the types of marketing and advertising you want to offer as part of your creative agency, I'm going to give you a framework that you can follow through step by step. So there are really 4 key stages to running any business. The first is traffic, the second is leads, the third is sales and conversion, and the fourth is the fulfillment. So if we were to start at the top at traffic, traffic is the term used for eyeballs, the people looking at your business. Who are those people walking through or past the front of your shop? Now, obviously you don't have a high street shop at this point. You don't even have an online presence. So how can you capture some eyeballs and the interest of people? Well, the first thing to do is easily create a social media page. That's a given. You should have that going. And if you're thinking about starting a business and you don't even have a social media page yet, then get one now. It is the easiest thing that you can do to get started. The second thing is you're going to want to speak to lots of people who are potentially in the market for your services. Don't worry about the fact that you haven't got anything to sell at this point. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to do this. You can find these people at trade shows, at exhibitions, at events or networking events, local markets. These people are everywhere. And guess what? It doesn't cost you anything to talk to them and start up those conversations. For instance, this week when I went to my networking group, there was a new person there who had just started a brand new business, and he said that he's currently pre-launch, so he doesn't even have a website. Now, did that make everyone in the room think that this guy was completely disingenuous and didn't know what he was doing? No, not at all. It just made people go, oh yeah, I remember when I had like an idea and I got it started and the website kind of came a bit later and it was all a bit crazy. Don't get me wrong. If you have those things in place, yes, it helps. But if you don't and you seriously have no money to spend, then just having the conversations with people and talking to them, getting out there, having conversations and saying to them, I run a creative agency, we're pre-launch at the moment, so we're still in the process of getting our website done. And that can still embark on a conversation with them. So traffic is all about the amount of eyeballs looking at you, generating an awareness of your presence, and you can do that through those ways that I've expressed as well. Now you're probably thinking, well, on social media, what do I post? Well, post content that's valuable. If you're interested in the space, or it doesn't take a lot for you to learn this stuff as well, follow a few pages that talk about advertising, creative agency, creative environment, brand strategy, all of these things. Interpret it and then make some content. Maybe use Canva. Canva is a free tool that you can use online to generate some content for your social media posts. So at least you've got something that's starting to get out there. So what happens at that point? You're putting out content, you're going to these meetings, you're going to events, you're speaking to businesses. That's the traffic point. And now we're starting to move them into becoming leads. So once we're having these conversations, we're just wanting to know, are they interested? Are they interested in buying from us? Are they a good fit? What are they looking for? What kind of services? Now I'm going to go through this And then at the end of the video, it's going to make complete sense on how you actually action this. Because in the way I'm explaining it is the chronological sense, but it's not the way that you actually need to think about your business. So I'll come back to that at the very end. But for now, you're in a room, you're having conversations, you're talking to them, you're just going to ask them the simple question, would you like to have a quick call, a meeting, a coffee, and we can talk about this in a bit more detail, find out exactly what you're looking for. That's when they start to become a lead, someone who is actually interested in what it is that you've got to buy. They're saying, yeah, absolutely, let's have a chat. Then we're moving on to that kind of sales and conversion point of running a business. So we've got people looking at our business. They know that we exist. We know that because immediately we're having conversations with them. It hasn't got to be clunky, one day this happens, the next day this happens. This can all happen in the space of a day. You go to a networking meeting, people are looking at you, you're having conversations with them. You find someone that you connect with that's looking for your services. You bring them into a meeting later on that afternoon. It doesn't have to take a lot of time, this whole process. And this is where people mistake the sales process as having to show them everything that you've currently got. Now, you're a business. At the moment, you don't have anything. And I'm going to give you a tip in a second that's going to really help elevate your brand. But for the time being, you just need to listen. You need to listen to what it is that they're looking for. And this is where we move on to the further step. So the final stage of your business, after you've made that sale, when you've converted them into a customer, is the fulfillment. How are you actually going to fulfill the needs that they're actually looking for? And you're probably sitting there thinking, Ross, okay, I understand the first thing, going and talking to businesses, people looking at me, getting them into a meeting, but I've got nothing to sell. You're forgetting, Ross, I'm starting a business. That's an idea in my head at the moment. I don't have a penny to spend. You mentioned about having a team of people working for you. This is where the magic happens. So this is the process that the customer take, okay? They don't know about you. They become aware of you. They then move down that funnel as they convert, they warm themselves up. They decide that you're the person they need. From your side of things, it works backwards from here. So first of all, let's think about the fulfillment. So the fulfillment stage, how are you going to deliver those services, especially when you don't have any money to spare? The first thing you're going to do is go straight to Google. You're going to go to Google and you're going to find out what local businesses are in your area. We're looking for freelancers. You might even want to put a job post out on somewhere like bark.com. I believe it's free to post a job, and just to find out who is out there. Be active in Facebook group, LinkedIn groups as well. You're trying to understand, are there any freelancers out there that would want to collaborate with you? You're ultimately going to act in this initial point as a sales agent. So you're going to have the customer journey from the start to the sales process, and then you're going to be able to leverage their track record, and you're going to provide them with the work. As a result, that's going to help elevate your brand. So let's say at a small level creative agency, I would be thinking about selling video production services, photography services. I would be looking at websites, maybe social media management as well. Now, it might be that because you're on this channel, you can already do a few of those things, and that's great if you can. If you are watching this video and you are starting out and you don't have genuinely any money to invest, then speak to those people, be involved in these Facebook groups and online communities where there are other freelancers, and you're looking for just one person, one or two people from each of those categories to connect with and partner with. And you're going to pitch it to them as a partnership. And you're just going to say to them, hey, look, I just come across you. I think you've got some fantastic work. I am setting up a creative agency because I'm fairly well connected within these industries. You'll have an idea of that through networking, etc. If I was to pass you some work as clients, how would that work? Would you want to have a partnership? Would you work as a white label? There are so many people that would say, I would work under your name if you can pass me the clients, because you're taking care of that sales process. And of course, you're going to be making a cut off the top of this as well. Most creative agencies would make somewhere between kind of 30 and 50% markup on the work. At the end of the day, if you've agreed a price with the freelancer that they're happy with and they are happy, then you can charge whatever you want on top of that. That's between you and your client. But it might be because you're starting out, you get an idea of how much they're charging and say to them, look, if I'm selling your services, what kind of things do I need to be saying? How can I pitch this in? What works? Because that's going to help level up your conversion percentages. You're going to have a much better chance of success if these people are helping you, telling you what works and what doesn't from their experience. It will help you to grow a lot quicker. So in the space of kind of 4 moves on a chessboard, we have now built out a team. a couple of people, a couple of businesses, freelancers in each of those areas that our creative agency is going to work in. They've given us some knowledge and insight on how best to sell their services. Some of them were happy to work as white label as well. So that is just working under your brand name in return for you simply passing the work onto them and paying them for those services. You're making a cut out of that. So that's the business model set up. So now we're using their portfolio and the things that they've said that we're allowed to use as part of your track record. So now if we go back to the beginning point of that customer journey, without spending a penny, we can go to events, trade shows, networking events, and we can talk to people completely free to do so. We can then have a meeting with them. We can just listen to them and discuss what kind of challenges they're facing. You'll know and how you're best able to help them based on the services that you now offer. You can show them some examples of work in those specific industries thanks to your now wider network. And finally, because you've been able to take them through that whole process, they say yes, sign a contract with you. You enlist the freelancer to help support you on this project. You effectively turn out to be a project manager just to oversee it all, make sure the client is happy. You're looking after that account to make sure they come back to you and they're getting the service that they're paying for. The freelancer completes the work. You hand over their new website, their new video content, or whatever it is. You might even have the opportunity to upsell some additional services in with that as well. You've now generated some money for your business, money that you didn't have previously. It might only be a few $100s or a few £100s to start out with, but that doesn't matter because now you're going to reinvest that money back into your business and you're able to build out a website and start to become a bit more credible. And before long, trust me, if you're able to sign some clients onto content plans or contracts for multi-year retainers, then that's going to transform your business just like that. If you are interested in those retainers and what they look like, then take a look at this video right here. I've also gone through a very in-depth step-by-step framework that you can use to start a video production company based on my experience in the creative industry and my own video production company, how you can avoid those pitfalls. So if that sounds like a video you'd be interested in, take a look at this one here. I'll see you in the next one.